Welcome back to another episode of my Seattle Mariners franchise here on MLB The Show 25, where we won the 2026 World Series in the last episode, beating the Phillies 4-1. A great last episode with two incredibly tight wins, including finishing up the finale with Jorge Polanco hitting a go-ahead home run in the 8th after Robles hit a go-ahead or a game-tying home run in the 7th, I believe. I think it was the 7th, pretty sure. Victor Robles came in as a defensive replacement. His one at-bat, he hit a home run. He took 4 at-bats in the entire postseason and hit 2 home runs in it. We talked about who the MVP was, and it was Jorge Polanco, whose contract is up. What decision did we make there? He's at 32. I do feel like it would be poetic if his last swing ever as a Seattle Mariner was the World Series winner. Postseason MVP was Randy Arozarena, another player whose contract is up. And that is what we're going to go do this episode, is going to be the offseason. I've got some ideas of kind of what I'm thinking about doing with the team. We're going to just do this all together. Of course, things initially start off first with retirements. We do have a retirement here in Shadden Peavy House. It's a deep potential guy: DJ LeMahieu, Liam Hendricks, Jaime Garcia, Carlos Santana, Jacob Stallings, Christian Betancourt. Shout out former Brave. Chris Bassett. Yu Darvish finally retires. Did not have a good year. Actually had a solid year. And I helped his develop, like his regressing a ton this year. But it didn't work out. Jose Abreu is gone. Let's see. Any other names that overly stand out? Mark Canha. Aroldis Chapman, down to a 63 overall. Didn't play at all this year. Alex Cobb. Didn't play at all this year. Well, solid the year before that. Adam Duvall is gone. Felix Feliz. Kyle Gibson. Getting close to the end here, it looks like. No other names are really standing out. Jordan Lyles, Jack Lopez, Starlin Marte, J.D. Martinez. Golly, those guys got bad at the end. I'm sure they didn't play at all. Andrew McCutchen down to a 60 overall. Whit Merrifield, who is retired in real life. Jace Peterson, Kevin Pillar, a couple of former Braves in here. Jose Quintana. Another Julio Rodriguez. Drew Smiley. Joey Wendell, Kirby Yates, Alex Wood. Yeah, okay. Don't think there's going to be any Hall of Famers in there. There's not. So we will move over, and we do need a new farm director. So let's go ahead and try to find somebody that doesn't hurt anything. +2 power, +2 drag button, 1-2 stamina. Take a look if there's another all. Good on that. Yeah. I think I could deal with somebody less. +2 velocity, +2 homers, -1 bunting doesn't really mean anything to me. Us being the World Series champions, we're going to get a little expensive. I think I'm probably going to let all these guys hit free agency, because exclusive negotiations. I mean, I definitely want to make sure we're bringing back some of these pitchers. So we'll put in something there. Trevor Gott, we'll put in something there. Taylor Rogers, obviously getting a little bit older. Big decisions obviously come down here to Randy Arozarena. He's wanting a 2-year deal worth $16 million roughly, and there's no guarantee he would even sign that. Victor Robles was not starting at the end of the year, not wanting to give him $12 million. Jorge Polanco, 2 years for $7.5 is obviously not bad. J.P. Crawford is looking for 2 at 10. We'll see kind of what is available. We'll go ahead and throw a little offer in here to the bullpen pieces. Both these guys were pretty solid this year. They have no qualms about going ahead and doing that. I just, with how old Randy is, already 32, coming off a career year, he improved a ton. Does he then, hit the regression next year? Does he maybe, because if he performs more like 2025, while he did have a 2020 season, not terrible, but is he a $15 million a year player when we have got all kind of pitchers, that we're going to be dealing with here? Jorge Polanco. I mean, these are not terrible contracts, other than I know I'm not giving Robles $12 million a year. I think we'll just go ahead and we'll get to free agency. We'll go ahead and we'll get things that kind of started off here. None of those guys I'm going to give the qualifying offer to. Now we are here for free agency. Take a look and see who's here. So Garrett Crochet, I did go ahead and see that. So we also, actually, let's do this first. So select 40-man players available. I just wanted to go ahead and pull this up because I figured we were going to have to. We are going to put Cole Young on the 40-man. So his clock is officially starting, 23 years old, 71 overall. How would we feel about playing him, let's say, at second base or at shortstop? I think he's going to be a good defensive player for us. Do worry about what the bat would be this year, but temporarily we will move him up to the MLB team because it doesn't really matter. Just to kind of see how many lineup spots we have to fill. So right now he would be at shortstop. We need a left fielder. Need a second/third baseman or a shortstop because Cole Young can play there. Renhefo can kind of play either second or third for us. Luke Raley, I think I'm going to let him hold down the first base position. Obviously have thought this whole year about bringing up Adrian Ramirez. I think I'd like to see him get into the 80s before we call him up. So I do think he is a piece that is probably going to play for us at least at some point this year. So maybe we don't have to go crazy with an outfielder. But if we could push back his clock another year, I would be fine with that. Luke Raley was very good for us this year. He was good in the postseason. He's been very consistent, had a really good last year and a half up at the major league roster. Obviously not great against lefties, so he's got that weakness. Left fielder, we have to have somebody to plug in there. Jesse Winker is not going to be my everyday left fielder and would really rather not have Burleson as the all-the-time starter out in right field, a little bit slower. Like, I'd almost go the route of, swapping him and Raley. Raley's a better defender with more speed and a better arm. Like, he can play right field. So, in theory, you could have him play right field. Burleson playing first base at that point in time, which is kind of weird playing them out of their main positions and both of them playing secondaries. But I think that would work a little bit better for us. Burleson impressed me this year. He was good in the postseason, was largely starting at the end of the year full time. Julio obviously holding down center. So you're kind of looking at a second baseman, shortstop, third baseman, some kind of combo of that we can work with. Would like another left-handed reliever. We do have Salcedo a little bit farther down here. That is a lefty. Pitched a little bit for us and was rock solid this year, so would certainly not mind having him up as well. We can kind of go ahead and temporarily put him in the major league roster because that doesn't matter at this point. The rotation is obviously all completely well and good. That is set this year. All these guys are either arbitration eligible or renewable eligible. Same with basically the rest of the bullpen, but I'd like another lefty reliever that I feel really good about. I like the righties that we have, but I think pulling in another lefty would be good. Maybe a backup catcher just to give Harry Ford one more year of development. That will put him as a 25-year-old rookie. Probably a left fielder for us with Cal Raleigh having gotten the big extension. But yeah, I think temporarily kind of looking at second base and the shortstop position. And maybe it is bringing back Crawford and Polanco, running this team back. We just won the World Series. Maybe not the most exciting thing in the world, but I think is worth taking a look at. So we went ahead and added Cole Young. Not really worried about losing anybody else there in that spot. And obviously we do have to go through the tendering contracts phase. So we'll just do this real quick. Unfortunately, it's not super fast, but I'm just going to renew pretty much everybody that's not a super low-level player. But yeah, definitely have had the debate of what to do with Ramirez, because I want to get our very first pick up. At 19, I don't feel like there's any real reason to rush it because I want him to, when he comes up, I want that to be it, right? I want him to be he is a starter at first base moving forward for the next, hopefully, the rest of the series, at that point in time. But yeah, so I'm really more worried about trying to figure out if I want to roll with Cole Young. Like, I feel like I need at least, even if we bring back one of Crawford and Polanco, because that's probably going to end up being the route, depending on what else we end up having available. But having another backup option to kind of pick up the slack in case Cole Young does need a little bit more development, and we do have to use one of his options, he's going to get an opportunity in spring training, probably regardless, unless contracts and stuff really work out in our favor. We have got some really expensive pitchers coming due. I already have one that I definitely plan on just giving an extension to for what it's worth. Yeah, this is the most monotonous part. Like, I wish you could just kind of just click a button to just give them the same contract, because for these 60K guys, there's literally no reason to give them any more money, really and truly. And I know we got pretty good budget to work with here as well. I'm sure we could get a little expensive at some point in time, but once we get into the guys that are like the 50s, not really overly worried about it, but you do have to get some of these depth pieces done and put together. Golly. But definitely excited. I mean, glad we ended up winning the first World Series here in franchise history. First one I've had on the channel, obviously. This is the first one I've done on the channel. But felt good. We played really, really well throughout the postseason. Pitched extremely well in the World Series. And just timely clutch hitting. Beat up on the Phillies there in game one. Was not crazy after that, but certainly enough to get the job done. Some of the guys like Ben Ramirez had really good seasons. Just deep potential is just not going to work out. Should be getting relatively close to the guys that are actually worth keeping. All right, so we're in the 50s. All these guys just deep potential. I think for right now, we can let the rest of these guys sit. Arbitration, we're going to have to make a substantial raise to Kirby here in arbitration. They're probably going to side with him anyway, but we'll do $15 million on him. Logan Gilbert, we'll go ahead and raise his up a little bit. He's obviously been outstanding. And both these guys are extension candidates. 31 here for Kirby. We'll have him at 5 years through his age 34 season. He's got 2 years left in team control, both of them being what I'm sure are going to be very expensive arbitration years. He's been outstanding for us. He's been the opening day starter the last 2 years. Logan Gilbert has been even better, and he is more expensive in doing so. Both of them are the same age. We only have 1 year left of Logan Gilbert, though, so 5 years would give us 4 extra years of control on him at $33 million. That is obviously a very expensive contract. Now, we do have Luis Castillo that is coming off the books after this year, but I'll offer arbitration here to Brian Wu, but I am fully planning on giving Brian Wu, who is pretty much already at his potential, so he's not going to get any more expensive. You got 3 more years of arbitration. I imagine his arbitration is going to be roughly $15 to $16 million a year anyway, especially after this year. I think with all the doubts that we kind of have when it comes to Kirby and Gilbert, which I think they eventually will be able to keep one of them, I think that locking up Brian Wu through his age 32 season for 5 years, as I would feel very comfortable with him as a 2 or 3 in this rotation. Certainly would hope to at least be a 3. Right now, he's the 5, which is crazy. So we'll go ahead and make him an extension offer arbitration for the rest of these guys. I'm sure they're going to get a little bit more money than what they're being offered, but that'll be okay. Make sure we get everybody locked up here. Santos, absolutely. So big for us in the postseason. Alec Burleson, and then Gabe Spire. So everybody has been offered arbitration, which is huge. We'll go take a look at the free agency and then kind of decide if we want to offer one of these guys an extension. I do want to keep one of these guys around long term. Probably a little bit better to lock up Kirby because you already have a little bit more team control on him anyway. I don't know. I like signing these guys that I like and keeping them around. Speaking of which, just looking at transactions, do we have, let's see. Oh. Does any of those guys agree to their deals? So we did re-sign Trevor Gott, which is nice to see. He went ahead and decided to come back. And just all of our contract renewals. All right. Let's jump in here to free agency and see what we got. Again, we're looking for lefty relievers out of the bullpen. So I need to go to, let's see, left-handed pitcher. And then, let's see, preferably a left-handed batter. Let's see, yeah. Okay, you can only do two. Okay. So we'll look at shortstop, second baseman, probably preferably what we want to do, and then just kind of giving the boost there to relief pitchers. And let's take a look, see what we got. So obviously a bunch of names here at the top that really stand out. Chris Bubic obviously is the top end lefty. He wants 3 years. He's 29 years old. Good mix of stuff, so obviously he would be nice. He has been excellent in this series. I think adding him to the list is something good to do. Crochet, let's see. So Crochet, Peralta, Flaherty. So a pretty good starting pitcher class, obviously with a huge headliner there in Crochet, who's probably going to get $40 million a year. Do have Matt Strom. He's 35, want to go 1 year deal for $8 million. Do we want to go ahead and kind of make that push for Bubic, or do you just kind of ride out the trying to get Strom? Is that the better play necessarily for 1 year of a guy that has been great the last three? Bubic's 29. He's not going to regress. I think we'll hold for that right now. Let's take a look here at the second baseman. Obviously, Jazz Chisholm was not very good this year. 749 OPS. But was pretty good here in 2025. I mean, 828. He's a good defender. Gives you some position flexibility. He would be playing second base for us from the left side, which I tend to hit better with. I think adding him, at least just seeing what the dollar amount is. He's 29 years old. I think there's a very good chance you get a bounce back campaign from him as well. And that's a position that we need to fill on the team. And then if we're looking at outfielders, Bellinger's just going to be really expensive. He wants a 5-year deal at 31. I don't think that's really anything I want to deal with. So I do think that adding a guy like a Rosarena back for 2 years is probably a better play. A Rosarena obviously already has some motivation to sign with us. He's been playing with us. Gives you some comfort. Like, I know what to do with him. I think we'll offer him 2 for 16.9. Like, he's not going to sign that. 2 for 17. If we don't sign Gilbert and them to an extension, I think you could really deal. Like, you give a Rosarena just a lot of money to come play for 1 more year, like $20 million. That would give us a little bit more flexibility moving forward. We'll offer him a 1-year deal. Obviously, it's a lot of money right now, but it gives us more flexibility later on for these pitchers if we decide to do that. So we're going to lock in Bubic, Chisholm. We offered a Rosarena. Let's see what happens, and we'll move along. So we already offered everybody arbitration. We did our 40-man selections, tendered contracts to anybody that really matters. Yeah. Hopefully we get Brian Wu to just sign the extension to keep him around there as well. Let's fast forward here a couple of days. Randy Arozarena makes his decision, and he is coming back. So 1 year's $20 million on Arozarena. decided to just give him a little bit more money. He's coming off of a very good year. If he kind of bottoms out, he's only going to be so bad because of the power speed combo. And again, it's 1 year. And we have budget to play around with here as well. We still have $44 million available, and that's counting in all the offers that we've already made to the players and arbitration estimates. So we still got some money to play around with. So that might keep us away from being able to make a move at Chisholm. We'll see just kind of how much he even would want to come here. So we'll quit the simulation here. Free agency. Chisholm does want to come here. Okay. And Bubic also wants to come here. He wants $11 million a year. Just out of curiosity, what would Strom want? Adrian Morejon, 2 years, 7.6. I think that actually might be a better deal. Bubic, you feel probably better about. I really just want a lefty to kind of balance out. If we save a couple of dollars there, I think that might end up being worth it. Do we want to give the big money to Jazz Chisholm? If you don't go Chisholm, then you're essentially looking, I feel like I'd have to, with the dollar figures. I mean, India wants 5 for 15. Polanco is certainly cheap enough to bring back. Crawford wants 2 at 11. You start getting a little, like, do you make the big play here for Jazz Chisholm? Essentially, this is the thing. Because I would essentially be having to roll. I have $44 million roughly to spend. I think if we decide to give Chisholm an offer, you're really hoping that he's an anchor in your lineup, that this 2026 season was more of a fluke compared to what he did in the past. Like, I don't know what exactly was the problem here. He was still a 2-WAR player, still higher than Polanco, lower than Crawford. He's younger, still probably has some potential to grow. The attributes are in a good spot. He got a lot of improvements off of lefties, contact-wise. The vision discipline is good. Defense is solid, so he would really help that out while also bringing some speed. Let's see what a contract would look like. 5 years at $22 million. It's big money decisions. I want to offer Jazz, though. Like, I want to make a splash. We're coming off the World Series. He would fill a spot in the lineup. Like, easily play very good second base for us. I think you're going to get somewhere in between this 25 and 26. Even at 26, hitting 225, he was still a 749 OPS, which was higher than both. Blanco was a 761. What was Chaz again? Yeah, Blanco. And then Crawford. Crawford's didn't hit for any power. I mean, Crawford doesn't give you errors from a throwing perspective, doesn't provide a lot of speed, is rock solid for sure. Like, I'm not complaining about him. I think we make the move here. I think we try to get Jazz. We're going to offer Jazz 5 years, $22 million, and just really believe that we can figure out his problems. I think I want to drop down to Adrian Morejon here. As far as the lefty relievers, I think that Bubic is going to end up being a more expensive play. And I think if we get Jazz, we're not going to have so much more money to kind of fill in other spots on this team. But a lot of the team is already well put together. And then I think at that point, if we get Jazz, then you make a move at getting a lower end second baseman, shortstop, just in case Cole Young does not work out. I think that's a pretty solid play for us for the long term, even if it's a guy like Kevin Newman. Let's lock this in for right now. Let's see if Jazz decides to come over and play for the Mariners. Would be another key piece we have locked in. Here we go. Contract decision. What is it going to be? We have Getting a phone call. Okay, so he is not coming. He decides to go to Baltimore. They gave him the extra year. Okay. So the first big postseason domino has fallen, and it is Jazz Chisholm decided to not come play for us. Nico Horner signs a deal there as well. Let's stop the simulating. That hurts for sure. Evan Phillips, so right-handed reliever. He's been great, but I think we're okay. I don't need another right-handed reliever. Adrian Morejon wants to sign. He's been rock solid. I mean, I'm okay with this. I think we can, at 28, he's been improving. So he's probably close to his peak. I really just want another lefty to balance out the bullpen. I don't think he's going to be overly expensive. So we'll roll with that. Now we have to come back and try to figure something else out. So Brandon Lowe, 28. He's looking for 2 at 15. At that point, Polanco, half the price. Very similar players. I mean, Jonathan India would be nice, but he's 30. Wants a 5-year deal. He has been great for Kansas City. He's just an okay he's a fine defender. Pretty much, I mean, he would be playing second base for sure for us. We've already got a Rosarena, so you've kind of filled out that spot. Do you want to go back to Crawford? Because the shortstop wheel is starting to kind of fall around now already. Do you want to bring back Crawford? I don't want to bring him back for 2 years at 11. So Pete Alonso signed with the Giants. Ha-Sung Kim signed with the Athletics for a big deal. Nico Horner, that's a good deal for Nico. And then, of course, Jazz ends up burning us, which sucks. It looks like we actually got an agreement out of Brian Wu, who is signed through the 2031 season, so through his age 32 season, I believe. So we've locked that in. It's a big key part of our rotation. He has been lights out in this series. No problem with that. So now we still have some money available to us. Let's just take a look at the lineup. Sorry, I'm kind of bouncing around everywhere. It's kind of the bad part about doing things live. So right now you're looking for a second or third baseman, some kind of shortstop combo, which is pretty much going to now with Jazz deciding to burn us there, unfortunately. It's pretty much going to leave us with having to make a decision. I mean, Jonathan India has been really good, a great on-base percentage this past year. It's hit over 20 homers the past 2 seasons. He's a righty, which I'm not overly thrilled about. We'll add him to the list and just see. Then shortstops. Alec Bohm, do you make a play for him? He's been good the last 2 years. It dropped down a little bit, but he's got some room to grow. 5 years, $20 million on him. Maybe we just kind of see where these two are at, assuming they don't just sign with somebody over this next stretch, which might confuse us. But if we sign Bohm, then Bohm plays third base for us. We put Renjifo over at second. Then just try to find out a backup piece for the bench to back up Cole Young, see if that ends up working out. Jonathan India would be the opposite. He would end up being the second baseman. You move Renjifo over to third at that point. So I think either one of those could work, to be honest with you. I think we do this. We offered Morejon. Let's just kind of see. Adrian Morejon, he's definitely coming for sure. No doubt. Yep. All right, so we got our lefty reliever. Again, Morejon it's not a Matt Strom. It's not a Chris Bubik, but gives us good depth there. Another lefty out of the pen, which I do felt like I probably should have had Salcedo up in the postseason, but I didn't. Jack Flaherty signs. Nice 5-year deal there. Chris Bubik does sign 2 years at 11, so that's a very solid contract. Nope, I do not want to stop simulating there. We've already offered arbitration to everybody. Let's see what the free agency looks like. And we can take a look kind of at our pitching rotation. Pretty well a filled out bullpen now. Morejon, Salcedo, Spire would be our three lefties. Morejon essentially kind of replaces Taylor Rogers, even though he's not quite as good as Rogers. I do like where the numbers are at, though. The hits per nine is a little low, which obviously is a key stat in this game. Salcedo is very good in that aspect, though, and Spire is, of course, always great. You know you're going to bring back this entire rotation. Let's see. So Alec Bohm does not want to come play for us at all. So we can move this maybe over here to third to try to get a little boost there for Bohm, but I doubt we get either one of these guys. So I think we will go ahead and probably have to put either Polanco. Polanco could play second and third, so you can kind of be in the exact same situation you were just in. But that pretty much forces Cole Young to be your starter at shortstop. Crawford only plays short. Who would I rather have back? Crawford, WAR-wise, he's been worth about 7 wins the past 2 years. Polanco, obviously not a great defender. He has actually only been worth 1 win over the past couple of years. He's a better hitter. He's a better bat. But Crawford does get on base. That's obviously a big thing for me. 330. He's at least a 336 on base percentage the last 2 years. I think we roll with Crawford in here. And then just kind of go along with that. Crawford already says he will come in and sign 86%. I think we just go a year on this. Lower this down to like 10 million. That would still allow us to make a play for one of these other guys. I think we just do that because I think we got a really good chance of bringing back Crawford. We can put him back into that shortstop spot where he has been very valuable for us the past couple of years. Let's see if we get a decision out of him. J.P. Crawford. We'll do 1 year at 12 gives us $25 million. Oh, no. I offered him 2 years. All right. So we have J.P. Crawford for 2 years. I forgot to, yes, that's on me. Forgot to knock that down. Freddie Peralta signed back with the Brewers, which is great for them. All right. So we got J.P. Crawford for 2 years, unfortunately, which I guess I could trade that if need be in the future. Crawford has improved. He still has B potential. Still got a chance to improve here again. That puts him back at shortstop. Cole Young right now would be our second baseman heading into this year. But I mean, even if Cole Young ended up needing another year to develop, J.P. Crawford then kind of becomes a bench platoon bat, something like that for us. I don't think that's a horrible move either. I mean, he has certainly been worth $12 million a year over the past couple of seasons. So I didn't really want to give him the 2 years, but wanted to make sure that we got him. Really nervous about how I don't think we're really going to get a chance to get India or Bohm. So we can offer India. That would pretty much lock Cole Young into going down to the minors. What do I have? Rengifo, I think, is just 1 more year on his contract. Do we make a play here for India? That would put Rengifo at third, India at second, Crawford at short. Cole Young could then have 1 more year to develop and then come up and be a bench player for us that can play second and short up the middle, essentially replacing Ryan Bliss, who has been a solid backup. Was really solid this year, actually. 641 OPS for a bench guy that plays pretty good defense with some speed. I ain't mad at that. Do we offer? Because this is pretty much it. I mean, this team is largely put together. We're at 24 people already on the on the roster that I feel really good about. Starting rotation is good. The bullpen, like, that's all of our guys. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's our 13 pitching staff guys already available. Your bench right now, though, is certainly a little bit weak. We could use a backup catcher. That's something I do need to probably get out there. I do not want Harry Ford not playing every day at bats. Do you offer Jonathan India? I'll kind of want to just make a splash. We've got some money to play around with. That would just put our budget at $10 million. I think we're going to try to wait that one out another week. Because I do think if push comes to shove that maybe Polanco is still available. The second baseman room is going a little bit slower. Let's go try to find us a backup catcher that's not super old. They ain't got to be nothing great, though. God dang it. I messed that up. All right. See what we got. I mean, even a guy like Riley Adams just as a backup with a good arm. Yeah. I think we'll just come in and we'll just offer him 1.5 even for 2 years. Okay. Playing a little hard to get here for no reason. All right, so we got our backup catcher. So that's now no longer an issue for this upcoming season. Bohm is not going to get here. There's no way to do that. There's no way to get up to that level of a player. So then it comes down to Jonathan India. I think we'll wait it out one more week, try to get that up a little bit more. Garrett Crochet signs with the Twins at $50 million a year. Shout out to Crochet. Get your bag, young man. Alec Bohm. I mean, there's no way to offer him a contract that he would even. Like I literally don't think I even could give him a contract. Yeah. Okay. He signs with the Dodgers. So of course he does. Jonathan India. What would be the most I'd be willing to go to for 5 years? He's been really good in this series. The vision discipline probably helps out his overall, just helps out his game be more consistent. He's been a 2020 guy with an over 850 OPS the last 2 years. He would be a long-term starter for us. She could be more patient with Cole Young. We'll offer 5 at 16.7. I doubt he's going to take this. We'll do 17.05. I doubt he's going to take it, which is probably, honestly, going to put me right back into going for a Jorge Polanco for a 1-year deal, assuming that Jonathan India does not sign this. He decides to go to the Rays for 4 years, $16 million. Okay, they just were a better fit for him. That's okay. So we offered him, more money. Okay, just a better fit. Alec Bohm with the Dodgers. Shane Bieber goes back to Cleveland. All right. So, still got money to spend. We just have nobody to really spend it on unless we're going to spend it on a pitcher now. Like, I'm not going to give Brandon Lowe that much money. He's got pop. We'll add him to the list. This is now the point in time. I think you run it back with Polanco one more year to give Cole Young, or do you just roll with do you duck down here to Eduardo Julian? He's not a good defender. Rice, he's got really good positional flexibility. He was okay last year. Honestly, 761 OPS, 740 OPS. Much cheaper, much more positional flexibility, a better defender. The bat is not there at all. That would be putting a lot into hoping Cole Young is probably your starter at second base and hopefully does okay. Let's just see. We'll see. Jorge's got good motivation to sign. We'll at least contemplate the Brandon Lowe situation. I don't think I'm going to make that move though. I don't think that's what this team needs. So we've got pretty much everything else together. I'm not signing Polanco to a 2-year deal. I want to leave things open for some of these young players to kind of emerge and take the next step. So right now, I'm probably rocking either Burleson or Rayleigh in right, or Rosarena in left, Jesse Winker DHing, Julio at center, be Crawford at short, Rengifo at third. You get the improved defense from Cole Young there at second if we decide to go that route, even though I don't think the bat is quite ready. He was solid in AAA, but he didn't tear the cover off of it, with still a guy like Adrian Ramirez that we could call up. And we do have our backup catcher here in Riley Adams. The bullpen and rotation are put together. So you can really it really just comes down to trying to figure out this second base spot. Brandon Lowe, what was his WAR last year with on a down on OBP year? Still was a better player, more valuable player than Polanco. He's a better defender too, with more pop. Let's fast forward here just a little bit. Nestor Cortez decides to sign with the Tigers. We'll go to the draft lottery just to see. We're obviously going to be picking dead last, which is super exciting for us to deal with. But you win a World Series. It's okay. See if there's any major movers up and down. Cardinals move all the way up to number 1. The Marlins move up to number 2. Astros move up to 4. Big loss there for the Rockies. They won 48 games, and they're going to end up with the 5th pick. But there's your list there, of course. I really just wanted to make a splash, I think. I'm interested in Brady Singer, but we have nowhere for him. I think there's no rumors at all for Polanco. Like, if we get a situation where we have to spend money, like somebody's giving him a deal, I think I'll do it. I think I want to try to go after Brandon Lowe, because I think you're going to get... I think he's just he's obviously a higher overall. I think he's just a better, more valuable player. Actually, very similar. Lowe just hits lefties, but he's just a better defender than Polanco. Everything else is pretty much exactly the same, with him maybe just being a little bit... Ooh, that 91 clutch. I think we're going all in here on Brandon Lowe, to be honest with you. Is there anything else I can do to... I don't care about that now. Left-handed will add in power, maybe give him a little extra boost there. Maybe. Try to lock this in. I think we're going to go after Brandon Lowe. Rule 5 draft. We'll go to the draft. Okay. Do we even want to make a selection here? Cade Horn. There's no way a 62 overall is going to maintain. Yep, we're good. I didn't figure that would be a thing for us. Very, very few players selected there. Brandon Lowe. Oh, now or never. I waited, dropped. No way we sign him. Have to give him $18 million a year to even really give ourselves a chance. He'd be 35. Do you want to offer a third year for Brandon Lowe? I don't think so. I think we're fine. We'll offer him 18.2. Leave us $6 million in budget. which if you go a little over budget in the offseason, when you get to spring training, it'll boost back around, so it's really not that big a deal. He's not going to come here anyway. No way. Brandon Lowe, $18.25 million is going to be your new second baseman, replacing Jorge Polanco. A little surprised that he decided to come here for us. Brady Singer signs with the Rangers. Okay. Seen some other teams in our division really make some big waves. All right, so that is going to put Brandon Lowe in here at second base. Rengifo will go back to third. Brandon Lowe with that. I think it's Brandon Lowe. I think it's Brandon Lowe. But 91 clutch with the power. Obviously signed him to some pretty big money here. We don't really have anything left in our budget to sign anybody. So, it is what it is. Again, if you go over a little bit on your budget during the offseason, by the time you get to spring training, it all kind of resets. So last year we left ourselves a lot of run room, right, to sign these guys and to make plays. To make another push here, we're now trying to repeat. We got a guy that had a little bit of an up and down season for sure, but big pop is very, very similar to Jorge Polanco, in all honesty, with a little bit more power just from the left side. But he's a better clutch hitter. I think he's going to fit in really nicely at like the 5 spot. Because I think I'm going to go back to trying Rengifo out at the leadoff spot. I mean, Lowe can hit. There's a bunch of guys here. This is a very good lineup. Got to kind of figure out what we're going to do here. I'm probably going to play Rayleigh out in right field, to be honest with you. I think that's going to be a better fit for us. But, yeah, that's going to do it for us as far as what we're actually going to be doing here in free agency. Let's just see, take a look at what the roster is looking like. Most of these spots are filled all the way across. We have 37 players on the 40-man, which gives us a little flexibility in case Rayleigh does struggle when you bring up Ramirez, et cetera, et cetera. Ramirez can also play right field better than Burleson with the field and the speed. So even that would not be a horrible thing to consider in the future. Yeah, I think we're just I think we're good. Did I say Jorge Polanco signed with somebody? Trent Thornton. Yeah, we'll offer Thornton a contract. I thought I offered him a contract. He just didn't sign it. So. I know he's going to sign 96%. Come on back to the squad, my guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 4. I don't think you can even carry 14 pictures. We'll cross that bridge when we need to, because I think that I still got some leverage here for some of these. Ooh, don't have really any minor league options left to play around with. Trevor God still has some room. Okay. We'll figure something out with the bullpen, should we need to do that. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and we're going to simulate the arbitration hearings. And we'll take a look kind of at what everybody did, who the biggest signings and stuff were. And now we are here to the arbitration. Well, let's take a look at Dodgers. Got Reese Hoskins. Okay, I don't want to look at it that way. Let's do. We did have a trade. Austin Hayes goes to the Padres. Okay. Oh, that's just. I can't do. I think I'm confusing this. All. There's been a couple of trades. See if there's anything. Candelario got traded. Okay. Mick Abel. Kelvin Alcantara got traded. Anthony Santander got traded. Okay. Nothing too awful crazy. And then Let's take a look at some of this free agency stuff. Just kind of look at the big names, I guess. Golly, this becomes almost a pain to look at. In Waldichuk, so many people. We saw this most of the bigger players though. Patrick Sandoval signed a nice little $13 million a year deal. Even Ramon Laureano got a really nice deal there from the Phillies. Kevin Newman got a solid deal. Rhys Hoskins said, oh no. God dang it. All right, I'm probably not going to roll all the way down there. We've seen a lot of the big signings, the Alec Boehms, the Brandon Lowe's, obviously. I'll figure out if I'm saying that correctly. Maybe Brandon Lowe. That's definitely our big get here of the postseason. Let's take a look at arbitration stuff. So Santos is going to get paid $3.4. Luke Raley, okay, just getting paid $800,000, so that's a steal for us. Gabe Spire, a little over $4 million. George Kirby, 21.5 is pretty much what we offered there, I think. Gilbert, $33 million. Snyder, okay. Right what we gave Brash. Okay, Burleson's still relatively cheap. I think that's so right now we're technically in the negative on our budget. But we're okay. We'll be just fine because it will reset. Yeah, I think we're ready to get to the spring training. Let's do it. Nope. And we have made it to spring training. Made some big moves here. Brandon Lowe. Big pop. A better version of Jorge Polanco at the same age. Obviously costs us about $10 million more a year than Jorge would have. But to be honest, I mean, a big part of it, as crazy as it sounds, is kind of just wanting the poetic end to the Jorge Polanco era in Seattle. And we'll figure out where he signed. But for his last swing to be the home run that ended up winning us the World Series, to me, it's just kind of poetic. I think that's just a kind of a safe play, safe way to look at it. And I think that's fine. Cole Young has now been called up. We brought back J.P. Crawford, brought back Randy Arozarena, and brought in Brandon Lowe as our big play here. How do we want to do this lineup? I think with how well Rengifo played at the back half of the year, I think moving him into first. Honestly, do you go Lowe? He's going to have to come up. Let's see, against righties, it's 63-81 versus 77-77. 84 clutch on Julio, so we'll bring him down. We'll leave Winker there in that second hole. Our new acquisition will be fifth. Arozarena, golly, this is a loaded lineup. I think we'll break up kind of the lefties here with Arozarena right dead in the middle of this very lefty heavy lineup for sure. See how Raley playing in right field is definitely going to be interesting. And then now let's just kind of go back and do all this again over on this side. We'll just set up everything the same way. At that point, you might just kind of, well, Crawford hits lefties well enough. Arozarena can just kind of fill in the 7 spot for both of these lineups. We'll move Crawford a little bit lower down against righties. Raley really and truly probably needs to go all the way down. We'll leave that right there. Then we're going to play Burleson at first, Raley out in right, Randy Arozarena, J.P. Crawford, Brandon Lowe, Cal Raleigh, Julio, Winker, Rengifo, I think is going to be our major guys on that end. George Kirby, Logan Gilbert, Bryce Miller, Luis Castillo, Brian Wu, who we signed to the nice extension. The bullpen is probably going to be one of these guys is probably going to go away between Gott and Thornton. Obviously, would not be the biggest miss for either one of them. Probably might just send Trevor Gott down for right now. Emerson Hancock is probably going to go down one more time as he gets ready for a role next year, very likely. Adrian Morejon was a big get for us. He was a get for us. I don't want to say big, but relatively cheap for a guy that does have an option left. Another lefty to come out of the bullpen. Salcedo we brought up. We'll see kind of who ends up filling out this spot. Like Hancock is definitely going to go down. If we have to send one of these relievers down, we'll let spring training performances kind of overlook that. Let's see where Jorge Polanco, while I'm thinking about it, where did he end up signing? And then that'll pretty much be the end of the episode. Swung and missed on a couple of different guys. We did eventually get a relatively big player. So Jorge did end up getting 7.7 a year. He's going to play for Chicago. We'll have to make sure to hop in against them. Hopefully he's starting for them. But I do like the acquisition here of Brandon Lau. So gives us, again, just a better version at the same age as Jorge Polanco, really and truly. Maybe a little bit less of an on-base guy, but a little bit more pop, and he's definitely a better defender. Now, he's a great defender, but a better defender with a better arm in totality. Hopefully Cole Young at least has a good spring training. He's going to be the first guy up, essentially. We don't have a lot of organizational outfield depth, but we do have Harry Ford, who can play left field, and I think would be just fine playing from a defensive standpoint. Just wanted him to get one more year down there is kind of the hope. But now you're looking at this is a contract year for Rengifo. It's a contract year for Winker. That's another big decision we're going to have to make, along with Logan Gilbert's obviously by far the biggest one we have. Luke Raley, he's still got another year of arbitration. Randy Arozarena, we signed for the 1 year. So holding down a lot of our money right now, but not crazy in the future. Still have 1 more year of team control there for Burleson as well. And as I said, our budget does kind of come back up. So we are in the green at this point. Got some big decisions are going to have to be made this upcoming season. Probably going to try to give Logan Gilbert the extension. I mean, really and truly. Because we do have Luis Castillo after that. Obviously, we could honestly offer him. He still is wanting a ton of money, though. That might just be something we play around with in the offseason. I'll think about it here in between now and when I record the next episode. Do we want to even give one of these guys the big extension with the Luis Castillo? $20 million coming off with Randy Arozarena's $20 million coming off. Just in those two players, that's $40 million coming away. What does Castillo want now as he'll be next year heading into his age 35 season? Still wants $16 million a year. I think he's probably going to start seeing a little bit of regression. Obviously, he's been very good for us. But, yeah, I mean, just for Rengifo, just out of curiosity, he wants a gigantic year or a big deal for sure. Yeah, we'll see how things play out for us. Obviously excited, and we didn't get to make all the moves that we wanted to make. For sure. We definitely wanted to play at Jazz Chisholm, and I think we gave him a very fair deal. But we got a pretty good consolation prize. I think we raised the floor of this team. We went from winning the World Series with the 6th best team in all of baseball to the 4th best team now in baseball, at least from the overall perspective. You see there on the right side with kind of the same problems that we had last year. You know, great pitching, good power, solid average speed. So, yeah, it's a little bit slower in spots, but again, we made our big acquisition. We added to the bullpen. We'll see how things play out. But that'll be it for this episode. If you enjoyed the content, like, subscribe. Check out my other work on the channel as well. And I got an NBA 2K franchise, 2K25 franchise with the Atlanta Hawks, and we got a college football 26 dynasty coming up here very, very soon. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and until next time, peace.